My God, ladies and gentlemen, I'm filming this introduction after filming the review of these peg stands, and be prepared to see, I swear to God, the best 3 3/4 inch peg stands ever. This is the way I want to go forward. These are amazing. They work so well. They help out with the crappy shallow peg holes that we're getting nowadays, because I want stands for my figures. I don't want to have to put blue tack or gummy substances on these figures. These are incredible. I knew they would be. Join me as I review these stands and this grandstand as well, which came with it. But it's just been a long time coming, and these figures I've selected here are ones that were the worst culprits of shallow peg holism, and they have made me hate the figures, even though they are beautiful to look at. So ladies and gentlemen, be prepared to be impressed. These are the 3 3/4 inch peg stands I've been waiting for all my recent life. So let's have a little play around with this. Please excuse the mess underneath the glass table here. The remnants of opening figures and such like. A little bit dusty. A little bit of dust on these. These are great. Absolutely brilliant. Just what I and we need. Let's have a look at a couple of other figures though. So if I get low on this table, you'll see like the likes of, this is a figure that will need it. She's so difficult to get on a peg stand. A proper peg hole will plug onto that peg. I don't want it sitting up like that, and I don't want to trim it and wreck it. So what you need is a completely new peg stand, and that's what these are. And they're actually great. They work well. So she's a bad casualty of a shallow peg stand. Nomad Fett is the best Exhibit A example of the worst figure on the peg stands that I used to use. And that's my favourite type of stand, that one from the Saga Legends, and this from Ian's Display Accessories, which are stands I still use to this day. But the Boba Fett has such shallow peg holes. I've even tried to widen them with a screwdriver and deepen them a little bit, but it hasn't worked. So you can get him on them, but you have to kind of press, and it's just like, it doesn't go in. Look at that. You get a little bit of resistance. It's almost like a gel effect. The molecules in each side of the two sections grip, but there's no resistance there. There's no depth. That's no good. And if you have it on display, and let's just push him down again. If I pan down so you can see what I'm doing. So he's on again now, effectively, well, one is. And then if you, oh God's sake, you see what I mean? You can't get the other one on. And then if you adjust the weapon or something, you move him, or put him up and down. It's just not a good connection. Enter this fella. This is brilliant. I bought these hoping that they would be good, and they are. Slots on the leg. Down he goes. I haven't even adjusted the figure yet. Perfect. I mean, a lot of these figures anyway, like this guy, you don't need both legs on 2 pegs. These figure stands and figure stands for years have come with 2 pegs. A few varieties of peg stand have come with 1 peg, you know, going all the way back to the com chip era. You see, you only get 1 peg there. You know, like the 2005 era. Even this era from the Saga collection of 2006, you got the 1. So you only need the 1 really, because you can either stretch him out wide so he can stand freely and he's secure, or whatever you want, but it's great. And also I found on the glass surface, these things really grip. They've kind of like got a stickiness. They're not sticky. They don't feel sticky, but against the texture of the glass, they really grip, and I like that. That's all I wanted from Ian, the stands. And Ian, I want more off you, man, so I'm going to put some more in on my next order. But when I was sort of looking around with Ian, I found these other things that I also wanted, like that in the background there. And I've bought things before from Ian, lovely diorama pieces, so I've got a playlist now for all of Ian's stuff that I've bought in the past. So do check that out. And there's a few more things that I want to get for me. And he's got Obi-Wan Kenobi's house. I wouldn't mind getting Anakin's house as well. But so I never really wanted a grandstand. I never saw the point. It's more of a 6-inch thing, really, because you know 6-inch figures are so big. I know you can get dioramas for 6-inch, but here's another figure that looks like it's struggling. Look at this one. See, it's sitting up. Let's get him on one. You see how they slide on? Let's just get, it's a lovely figure, this one as well. I can't wait to open my new Phase 1, which arrived with Dooku recently. Let's get him in there. There it is. Like a glove. And let's just do the test. Let's do the pivot test. Pivot! Aye, aye. I think you're just demonstrating this. Oh, you can go all the way, man. They're not going to fall off. How about that? Brilliant. Now I've realised that I do want this grandstand. I'm going to put all my Clone Commanders on it. You know, like we've had a lot recently. They're all on my Clone Wars shelf up there. That's all kind of dedicated to Clone Wars and stuff. But he's not a commander. I'll just put him on for the sake of the purposes of this review. But, oh, excuse that noise. There you go. See, they slot in. They're great, aren't they, man? I just fancy them all sort of stood together. Like a hero shot, you know what I mean? Legends of the Clone Wars or something like that. But that's the deal. A bit rough and ready that. I'm going to do another figure that really desperately needed it. I really would have to watch my quick shot series to see which ones really did my head in, because I opened the figures and I was just devastated and gutted that, you know, they didn't work. Look at that. That is much better for her. Wow. I have hated this figure as well. Not really that keen on the character as well. That's a separate issue, but that stands way better. Look at that. That is way better. That is much better. Oh my God, I've got to get more of these stands. I won't use them for every figure. If they've got enough depth, I won't use them. Now this one here, well, to be honest, they look so good, I might just be tempted to just go with these stands going forward anyway. She had more depth, this figure. Check it out. You see, it's that stand there. And if you push in, look at that, there's more connections. You could hear the peg going inside the hole, right? And she stands okay. But, yeah, she seems snugger. I don't think she's as snug on that one because she has to stretch a bit more to that one. So it's not as good, but let's just try her on this anyway. Not that she needs it as much, but oh yeah, man. Look at that. These are the peg stands I want forever going forward. I would gladly, Ian, I'd buy 1,000 of these. I'd buy 1,000 and I'd put all my figures on them. They're more concealed. They're more discreet. I mean, you can't even see the one underneath Boba Fett. I like it. They're quite easy just to slide in. Also, you can have them at an angle. They're not going to fall off, where I think gravity would defeat the connection of that type. They'd come off, wouldn't they? But I love it, man. It's like a snowboard thing. Now, this is another figure here. I just had a random look at the shelves and I saw this guy. And this is an awful figure. Look how the way he's stood as well, because I had such trouble getting him on the stand. He's now standing at this weird 11 o'clock angle. So let's get him off. Let's just see how this figure stands on here. Put it under there. I think it's just a weird figure. Anyway, you've got to get the angle. There you go. That's way better. Look at this. Oh my God, I love it. It's improving everything. Where's my Boba Fett? I want to get going now. There's loads of figures I've semi-loved because I've partly hated them because of the way they stand on my peg stands, and I don't want to do blue tack. There he is. Here he is. Right, this figure here, which I love the look of this figure, this Boba Fett, but I have hated this figure because of the fact he can't stand up, for Christ's sake. So I even had him stood like that with 1 foot forward to balance him a bit. You know what I mean? Like he's on a bloody skateboard. So let's see what he is like. This is the ultimate test. Whoa! No, he fell over. That's interesting because of the fact he's got the weight of the backpack. But hang on a minute. Let's just work this out. Yeah, the figure's all skew-whiffed anyway because I've been messing around with him to get him in the right kind of pose to stand on an old peg stand. But I think I've just readjusted him. Got a bit more balance there. Let's just try him now. Yeah, he's holding back a little bit. It's because of the weight of the backpack, I think. But, you know, you just need to work it. But to be honest, it's easier to work it because the previous problem was the peg hole being shallow. When you try and work the figure when 1 foot is on, it keeps coming off because it's not deep enough. But now he's on there like that. I've got a good... Yeah, let's go handheld on that one. Got a good stance. I've just got it on one leg. He's standing off the peg. He's standing off the stand altogether there, which I don't mind that. As long as they stand good and look all right, man, I'm happy. So that's the best I've seen him looking on a stand. Way better. I love these peg stands, man. I love it. Ian, thank you so much. And I want to commission some more, man. Well done for doing these. Is it Landspeeder Luke we have to thank? I dare say the 6-inch community will be thankful as well. That's great, man. Love it. Let me just have a quick look and see if there's any other figures that I could use. Yeah, there's loads of figures. Let's just get this Obi-Wan here. This is another one that's just, you have to sort of pivot their legs in a funny way and squidge it down as best you can. But they're all sitting up, man. It does my nut in. The rocker ankles are highly responsible for how the peg holes are now. This new generation of feet have suffered, what with the new design. Let's just get this guy on. That's so much better. It's so much more comfortable. It's looser. I can adjust him now. He doesn't keep coming off when I adjust him. That is great. Oh, I am so impressed with them. I want more, man. I'm buying more. Ian, I want to do an order with you for an Obi-Wan Kenobi house. I want to get an Anakin house too, but please, could you 3D print a load of these as well for me? That would be awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for watching this as well. And thank you, Ian, for the good work. Landspeeder Luke, whoever came up with them, the concept. If I've got any information wrong on who's responsible for what, do correct me in the comments, so let's get that sorted. But I love it. Legitimately impressed. Oh, and one last thing. No, unfortunately, he doesn't work on General Grievous. Somebody in the comments asked me about that, and he doesn't work on General Grievous, sadly. If only he would slot in for him, because he ain't got no peg holes whatsoever. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.